that will be the last one that I drink out of this 4-pack. I think I'm going to save that for one of the holidays, or to drink with those other two guys that sometime come on the show, but I haven't been on the show in a long time. Who knows? Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. I don't know, dude. We'll see what happens.
You can share it with Matthew. That's great.
This week we recap Temperance's Might Meets Right and FOBAB 2023. This is episode 124 of the Malting Hour.
What's the haps on the hops? Got yeast, that's beast. This the Malting Hour where we talk about our drink and tell you what we think every other week. And if we get drunk, well, we might slur our speech. Got the gift of gab, the friends you wish you had. Join us for a drink, join us for a laugh. Time is never wasted, where you getting wasted. The Malting Hour here, people take your places. People take your places. People take your home.
Welcome to the Malting Hour. I am one of your hosts, Tony Gullick, joined always with
Brandon Winninger.
Hey, Brandon.
Hey, bud.
How you doing?
Good. It's been a long couple of days.
Yeah, it has. You're not even probably drinking anything tonight, are you?
Incorrect.
I'm interested in what you're drinking, to be honest. Well, you just cracked it.
Let's see.
The anticipation is killing me. I'm so excited, nervous at the same time. Brandon and I have been drinking a lot of barrel-aged beers this week into the weekend. It was quite nice, but also it's taxing.
Ooh, that held up really well.
What is it you're drinking, my good man?
Lake Effect Brewing Company's Start Your Day.
Hey, what is Start Your Day?
It's a bourbon barrel-aged imperial breakfast stout brewed with maple syrup and coffee.
Oh, yeah, get yourself a little coffee and booze before you go to bed tonight. That's smart. I am, this will be a good, why don't you talk about the beer first before I get into mine? Let me segue.
Yep, tastes like barrel-aged beer. I don't know if I'm getting the coffee so much.
Sip on it.
Yeah, a little bit. The maple's coming through really nicely. So it's like chocolatey, mapley, good carbonation. It's funny because the can felt a little short, like it wasn't a full fill, but
What the hell, Clint?
But no, I think it was. I don't know. It was good though, and it is good though. I don't remember if I've had this in the past, but I do enjoy it. And I was leery about like doing maple because even at like when we were at FOBAB, I was like kind of trying to avoid some of the maple stuff because I was just not in the mood for like maple bombs. And this is nice, very subtle. And it complements the maltiness of the stout, the chocolate notes that are coming through. And I think that the coffee is just very, very subtle. And this is like has not been chilled. This is one I grabbed from the back room.
So it's been cellared.
Yes.
Nice.
And I didn't want to chill it at all because I was like, I want to drink it just the way it is right now. So.
Yeah, good call. I don't know if I had that one. Maybe it's a possibility, but I don't recall having that. And I'm with you on certain maple beers can end up being very sweet or also just have a very strong maple syrup flavor that kind of overshadows the rest of the beer. And I feel like that really takes away from what they were going for. I mean, there's certain adjuncts that I really enjoy, like vanilla. I love a good vanilla stout, especially if it's a vanilla bomb, to be honest. But maple is not that for me.
Yeah, and I'll agree on the vanilla thing, but I've had some like vanilla bombs that were not good. And it's just, and maybe it's the quality of the vanilla that they used in the beer or whatever. But I've had some where it was just like, that's questionable. But this one's great.
There's an octopus on that can. And since we're not going to be rating many beers, we might as well rate these. How many octopus arms would you give this beer?
I'm going to go, I think 3.8.
Fair enough.
3.8, I think. Just from, first couple of sips into this. Definitely drinkable, definitely enjoyable. I this is one I think I could easily just do the entire can, and I'm going to. And yeah, I don't have anything really negative to say about it. I think that I would wish the coffee would be a little more prominent, but my estimation of this beer is it's about 2 years old, so it's appropriate level of coffee for a beer that old.
Yeah, probably some of that coffee probably fell off and faded after
And
that time,
it didn't go green, so
which is
that's
good.
yeah.
Always, not like
Yeah.
Kermit the Frog. Well, that's good. I wish I could try it, but instead, I am trying Temperance's Might Meets Right 2023 Basil Hayden Toast, which is
Ooh.
13.7% in my new nifty Temperance thin stemmed drinking glass.
Here's a forwarded RIP to that glass. That'll probably happen at some point with those.
which is why I'm stressing it's very thin. That's gonna break at some point. I don't do well with glasses like that, and I rarely use them. I have a Jessup's Farm one like that I think I used once, and I just put it back up. I'm like, this is. I almost knocked it over earlier.
Didn't you
so.
break one from Jessup's Farm? And he had to send you one?
Yeah,
Or
but
you
it wasn't the thin stem.
Oh,
It was
okay.
just the regular one that I like using, which knock on wood, I still got. But yeah, so I'll use this to transition into our first topic of today's episode, which is we got the chance to go to Temperance this past week to get a preview of their Might Meets Right 2023 barrel aged beer lineup out in Evanston, and man, that was a fun time.
It was. It was not overly crowded. It was not like an event where you have to stand in line to get samples of the beer. I think it was very well done, and I like how they did it. You know, they have their brewery set up with tables and everything like that. Just kind of like a perfect situation for going in and sampling some of their newest offerings.
Yeah, it was cool. We did it last year too, and that was a lot of fun. That we did a media event, and like it seemed like there was people who were also industry people as well. This was an actual ticketed event that for $60 you got the 4-pack of the variants, 4 tasters, which you could use on tasting the 4 variants, and also have a pour of what was it? Gatecrasher and something else. Birdsong?
I think so.
That or maybe I could be wrong. That it might have maybe been a lager. But we used our 4 tickets to sample the beers because that's why we're there.
Basement party.
Basement party. There we go. I was right. It was a lager. We used our tickets to try these samples. We got there a little early. We both had a beer, hung out for a little bit, and then we got in there, got our first pour right away, and we went down the list. And if I'm not mistaken, this was the first one, which
It
is
was.
yeah. So it's Basil Hayden Toast. Basil Hayden Toast. It's aged in Basil Hayden Toast bourbon barrels. The rich dark malts mellow and take on notes of dried fruit, caramelized sugar, and toasted oak, not oats. Yikes!
Like you me cereal.
I'm still feeling this from yesterday. And it's 13.7% ABV, which looks like all of them are that as well. So this is the first one we got to try, and I let this one I let this one warm up to room temperature, or at least get close to it. I took it out about 45 minutes before we started recording, and then I took this glass and cleaned it, but then I just let it run under some hot water for a while to kind of warm up the glass as well. So this is warmer than when we had it, because we had it pretty cold. They're pouring it fresh there, and
super fresh.
About what I like about this one, and you and I ranked them together, we can go through that at the end here. Spoiler alert, we liked all 4 of them. This, I'm getting way more barrel, and I didn't read that description before we started recording.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm getting a lot of dried fruit. It's really good. And I thought it was really good, and I'm wondering if now maybe I like this more today than I did the first time we had it.
It's possible. Now you just got to drink all 4 of them tonight.
Great idea. Said no one. That sounds awful, and not because the beers are bad, because I got work tomorrow and my liver wants to just chill out for a few days.
Please, sir.
Please, no more barrel aged beers. We normally love it. Not right now. You've done too much.
There is a way to burn out on barrel aged beers, and
That happens.
doing a lot of barrel aged beer events. We'll do that because I'll even say like not jumping the gun, but like FOBAB. Even it was like we both talked about it. It's like, do you really want to do this today?
I mean, and don't again. We are super excited to get invited to that event. It would. It's. I mean, we look forward to it, and we had so much fun and had really good beers, and the awards were cool, and we got to run into some friends and hang out with them. But we started at 12 and ended up leaving a little after 3.
Yeah, like 3:30 ish.
Yeah,
No, like 3:15 ish. I think.
Yeah, because I think I was home by 4.
Yeah.
By Uber. Thank you, our Uber driver, who I spoke. Both of our Uber drivers were great. Yeah. But so the event, like Brandon said, wasn't super crowded, but you could tell that everybody that was there was really into it, really interested, and probably our regulars or had been going to Temperance for years, and everybody was super cool. It was great to sample through all these beers. The next one we ended up trying was the Russell's Reserve 6-year-old rye, which is Might Means Right Stout, aged in Russell's Reserve 6-year-old rye barrels, rich dark malts, mellow, and take on notes of allspice, pepper, and almond. I did not get that.
No. But
no.
I don't know. Like again, I'm like playing back. I don't know if I got necessarily all of those exact flavors, but when we had the first 2, that one was my favorite.
Yes, same here. This one is very barrel forward, almost like you're getting a fresh pull of the stout out of a wet barrel. Like it had been sitting in there and like, here you go, just put it in your glass. Because the carbonation is, it's not highly carbonated. It's a barrel aged stout. And the Russell's Reserve, I felt like the barrel is there, but it wasn't as in my face. Like I got to actually taste the beer.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a lot of fun. I think you and I both agreed that was our favorite, or first or second. Actually, that was not my favorite. That was my number 2.
Yes, but what out of the 2, like
Out of these 2, yes,
the 2 barrel present ones, the Russell Reserve was definitely top for me.
Absolutely. And also, this event did sell out. By the way,
did it?
Yeah, I just looked at
which is awesome because it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't super crowded. So
yeah, it was just enough. And I mean, literally, the deal was, so it was $60. You get 6-ounce pours of each variant. Take home the mixed 4-pack. Also get to keep the glass I'm going to break eventually, and then you get to hang out with all the people. And for $60, if we didn't get invited, I would have gone.
Yeah, it was definitely well done. If you got there early enough, or you were there a little bit ahead of time, they had a local place there doing tacos inside the brewery, like in the brewing area. They had a little couple of tables set up, and they were just banging out some what smelled like delicious tacos,
which we thought maybe we were going to get, but we didn't.
Yeah, we were dumb.
But were we though? Because we had delicious pizza afterward.
Delicious in quotes.
We had inexpensive. Well, we had very large slices of pizza. Let's just put it like that.
And I can't knock it, especially after doing some drinking, and that pizza definitely holds its place.
And if you were me, you may have stopped and got French fries as well,
and a 6-piece nugget.
I was leaving that part out, man. It's embarrassing to admit that to everybody. Around that time is when we ran into Shalonda, Afro Beer Chick. That was nice to see her. It'd been I don't remember the last time we saw her, man. Well, was it about a year?
I mean, when we saw her now, it was a half a Shalonda. So, so those of you,
she'll appreciate that immensely.
Yeah. I told her that. For those that don't follow her, or that do, you would know that she's been on a weight loss journey and has done incredible. She looked great. It was almost hard to recognize her, except for the fact that she was, her head wrap and her shirt and everything else matched. It was like, yeah, there's only one person I know that would match like that. I think her nails matched too, actually.
And then when she called me a jerk or whatever, and says she loves you more than she loves me. So that may have also been the other thing. She just likes to give me shit.
Yeah,
it's all right. I'll give it right back, Shalonda. I'll give it right back.
But shout out to Shalonda. Her journey has been awesome, and very proud of the work she's put in and how she's doing. And I know she's super proud of it. So, but it was great to see her, like, she was living her best life and like super happy. And I love drinking beers with her. It's just,
she's funny, man.
It's always fun.
She's great. It's a lot of fun hanging out with her, and looking forward to bringing her on to do cocktails and cookies. That's perfect. That's a perfect holiday episode right there. So I'm going to stick to that. I'm going to say it right here, right now. I'm going to call it. I'm going to make it happen, Brandon.
Okay.
All my false things that I say on this show, this one I'm sticking by. This is going to happen. You hear it, Shalonda? You're coming back. Cookies and cocktails. I can't wait for that. I'm so excited.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So around that time, we ended up moving on to the chocolate, which is aged. This is great. I didn't know this about this. And maybe you knew this, but the chocolate one is aged in both the Basil Hayden Toast Bourbon and Russell's Reserve 6-year-old rye barrels. So they blend both of those and let it sit in cacao nibs to bring out the chocolate malt notes. I didn't know that was blended.
I assumed it was blended.
Well, good for you, Mr. Smart Guy who knows more about beer than Tony.
Well, because there was no barrel description on the other. It was like chocolate, vanilla, and I'm like,
well, I didn't think of that. Okay, I just
blend them together. Like,
well, maybe you should go work for a brewery. It's a cool idea.
to write their descriptions. Oh, you blended this, so let's just call it chocolate.
What did you think of this one?
I liked it. It was the chocolate was subtle, but it was very, very complimentary to the barrel. Barrels, yes. And no, I think I liked the fact that both of, like, there was a blend. Like, now knowing and confirming that it actually was a blend. I'm
super excited to have it again and let that one warm up again, because these were being poured fresh, like straight from their fucking chiller area where they keep the other beers on tap. I feel like a lot of these beers need to warm up a bit and to bring out some of those flavors to let them pop, because if they're subtle like that, it kind of gets lost.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was like saying too. Like the chocolate was subtle, and I feel like if we would have had more time and let it warm up, it would have popped even more. But as it was,
because it wasn't a chocolate bomb. It wasn't like
no. But as it was really good. I enjoyed it immensely.
It was a nice, like, dark cocoa aftertaste. Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of dark chocolate.
So this one ended up falling, and this is not a knock at this beer, at number 4 for me. Mm-hmm. And Russell's Reserve is number 2 for me. Mm-hmm. And then the Basil Hayden was number 3 for me, which only leaves one more, which is the same thing. Now, if you guys, this is also a blend. And then they let it sit on vanilla beans to bring out vanilla notes from aging in oak whiskey barrels. And we found out that these were Madagascar vanilla beans. So if you guys didn't notice what Josh, the owner, had mentioned to us when he gave a little speech about this release and what's coming up for Temperance, which, by the way, we are speaking with Josh tomorrow. And so next week, we have an interview with Temperance. They'll be on the show to discuss. I think it's Josh and Connor are joining us to speak about their 10-year anniversary. So we get to give the history of Temperance and their 10-year journey leading up to their 10th anniversary and their exciting 10-year beer, which we'll talk about on that show. If you might already know, I don't know.
Yeah, it was funny because I doing something, and it was Connor I ran into, and he's like, "Hey, I saw your shirt." Or your sweater. I was like, yeah. He's like, So we've never made it happen, huh? I was like, hey, we just saw Josh. We're working on it. We're working on it.
And then we did, man. We pulled the trigger. We Katie over there at Temperance is also very cool and has been very great with helping us. Patient. Yes, we were originally going to go do this back in like August, and I had to cancel for personal reasons. And they've been super cool, and they invited us to this event. So what Josh was saying was that they wanted to go back to the basics of Might Meets Right, because they've done some like a lot of fun barrel aged like adjunct versions of this. Like I know they've done Mexican hot chocolate. I think they've done like a chocolate mint one before too. I'm only focusing on the chocolate, but they've done I know they've done like a berry one as well, but they've kind of been all over the place.
Yeah, there's been complex adjuncts have been in the mix.
Yeah, so for it being 10 years of doing this, they wanted to just do simple, which when I saw the announcement of it, was super excited because 2 different barrels and then a chocolate and a vanilla, and those are simple enough and delicious enough. I feel like if done correctly, that you're not going to lose the barrel, you're not going to lose the stout, and the adjunct should help enhance the beer. And I think chocolate and vanilla do that. Vanilla just happens to be my favorite. I love vanilla stouts. I love vanilla beers. I love vanilla in beers. This one is not a vanilla bomb, but the vanilla does come out strongly. Am I saying that really a bit strong?
No, it was fantastic, actually. It was very well presented.
Not strong in an off-putting way.
No. It was like I said, it was really well presented. And the fact that like, because it was coming, like we're drinking at such, colder temperatures than, these beers are typically served at or people enjoy them at. The fact that the vanilla was just so prominent and so clean and just so complementary to everything else in the barrel and in the beer. That was the standout for me as well. I was blown away. I didn't think I was, I like vanilla beers too, and just trying it, I was just like, okay, like here we go. So
yeah, I was super happy with it, and that will be the last one that I drink out of this 4-pack. I think I'm going to save that for one of the holidays, or to drink with those other 2 guys that sometime come on the show, but I haven't been on the show in a long time. Who knows? Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. I don't know, dude. We'll see what happens.
You share it with Matthew? That's great.
And that's the beginning of the show. Yeah. Oh, I love when we're knee deep into an episode and I hear something and then I catch it. Oh God, do I love it. And then I write down the time. Yeah. Oh, this was my number 1. So it was this, then the Russell's Reserve, then the Basil Hayden, then the chocolate. So that's the way I rank them.
Yeah, I think I was the same. So
yeah, and again, all 4 were good, and we're pretty transparent when it comes to beers. And although it sounds like we do like every beer, we just I think we just pick good beers to try. Unless it was that Shorts episode. That Shorts episode, we're going hard on them.
Sorry, Shorts.
Sorry, Shorts. It was not a good episode. It was not your day. But all 4 beers are really good, and I definitely recommend. The price point on it, it's when you consider like some of these other barrel aged beers, the fact that you're getting basically a mixed 4-pack. You can't buy just the Basil Hayden 4-pack. You can't buy just the Russell's Reserve, etc. It comes as a mixed 4-pack, and I think that's awesome. I think it's a really cool way to sell these beers, and I have always appreciated that about Temperance with the Might Meets Right series. So the price point, I think, is like was it $32, $34, something like that.
I think $34.99 is what they said.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what 48 ounces of beer. It's almost 14%. You get to try the barrels separated and the barrels together, blended with some really nice simple adjuncts that really make the rest of those beers and the barrel aging kind of pop.
My fear is like if this, when this hits store shelves, there's always the people that just sneakily try to go in and crack the packs and then like put everything together and ooh, this is a 4-pack of vanilla. This is delicious. It's like
How do you know?
Great.
How do you know my move, man? That's
Yeah.
fucked up. That's what I'm gonna do.
I mean,
No, I'm
which
not
you know,
kidding.
it's great, but it's just like there was a time when I was going to get some
I was just
brickstone
gonna say, it reminds
stuff,
me of the Brickstone story.
and I couldn't find like it was like somebody just kept mixing and matching, and I was like, I don't want all the same one. So, but
Yeah,
yes,
I hope that doesn't happen. Don't be that person if you end up going out to get these beers.
no,
Buy
I
the
mean,
4-pack, and if you like it, buy it again. Buy it again. Think about all the other barrel aged beers you buy.
I will say the only place that should be or that is acceptable to do something like that would be like beer on the wall or bottles and cans where they do allow you to separate. So if they allow you to do that with those and you feel like doing it, you know, like
Yeah, I'm not.
they
I'm not.
allow the cracking of the cases there. So I would say do that. But
Yeah, and I'm not sure that they actually do it. I don't think they carry the might meats right. I don't
they
think
might not. So
Yeah, maybe because of that. Maybe because it just makes sense to do. It might be more difficult to do that because then here's the 4-pack, and then you just
they
snag
get them
it.
and then they tape them.
Well, like all the vanillas are gone. You know what I mean? Or all the
Yeah.
Russell's Reserves are
And
gone.
that would suck. Like that would suck
Yeah.
for somebody.
I think it ruins the experience. It's a really nice experience to have these 4 different beers. I like it. I kind of wish some other breweries would do this as well, or kind of, try something like this. I'm not saying the other breweries suck for not doing it, but it would be nice. Like this is an example. I'm not saying that Old Irving should do this, but it'd be fun to get like a 4-pack of Krampus. You know what I mean? A 4-pack of the mixed ones. But that's another story. We're gonna try those anyway, and I'm gonna buy them.
Yeah, it's kind of what we had said. We were talking to a friend of the show, Pat, at FOBAB, kind of talking to him about the event. Was it him? Maybe it would the whole group, but I remember we were talking about it. We kind of said like you know try all because he was I think mentioning them, and I was like you should try all of them. Like they're all good. We have preferences, but that doesn't mean that anyone is like not as good as the other. Like, yeah, they're all on the same tier to me, but there's just ones
Absolutely.
that I prefer to drink. You know, I would never turn any one of them down.
Well, I mean, it's funny because like I went with the basil hidden toast, and that was my number 3. I decided to start with that, and I think probably the next one I end up going with is going to be the Russell's Reserve.
I had thought I was like, oh yeah, I wonder if Tony's gonna crack the vanilla tonight. Like,
No, saving that one, baby, saving it for Matthew. Yeah, and chocolate. I think chocolate I'm gonna let really kind of warm up. Another thing I'd like to say about this beer before we take a quick break and move on to the second segment of this episode. I like that this beer is not heavy. It's not a thick stout. They really don't go big on this stout. I mean, other than alcohol, but it pours like a cola color in the glass, which in the tasters it looked really dark, and it looks dark in my glass, but pouring into it, it's a nice. I don't want to say it's a medium bodied beer, and I like that. I like that it's a barrel aged stout that's like that because I feel like it really gets a chance to present the barrels or adjuncts a little bit clearer. And I think it's maybe even harder to do that with a beer such as this one without totally drowning out the actual base beer. Which again, a beer like this, I would love to try the base beer. With much like all the other barrel aged stouts we ever have, it's always like, let's try the base. I want to try the base beer.
Yeah, so that'll be something we could ask Josh. Like, let's give us the base beer.
Josh, can we have the base beer, please? We've been good boys. So shout out to Temperance. Thanks so much for inviting us and giving us these gifts as we left. It was very nice of you guys. We appreciate it.
Super cool.
Next year, even if we don't get invited for this and they do this again, I would go. I would go in a heartbeat. I had a lot of fun. It was a good time with you, buddy. And I think I'd eat the tacos there too.
It might be something else next year. You never know.
I'm just saying. I was using it as an example. Like,
oh, okay.
Tacos is the placekeeper for whatever food they might have.
Nice.
Great. You know what? We'll be right back.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
And we're back.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm texting my mom. Sorry. I wasn't ready. I mean, I was, but welcome back, everybody, to our special big barrel-aged beer episode. I don't even know what the picture of this episode is going to look like.
Big barrel-aged beer bonanza.
Big barrel-aged blowout.
Yeah.
It's wild because this week, Old Irving does their pre-sale for their barrel-aged beers, the Krampus collection. We're talking with them about doing a quote-unquote preview, but I don't know if our schedules are going to work out for it to be a preview. I think it's going to be post-release, but whatever. Yeah. Excited about all 5 of those.
That's what I was last year, so it's fine.
The 5 beers this year, though, just sound fantastic, the variants. I'm super excited. We got to try one of those variants at FOBAB because we got to go to FOBAB 21st. What would you call that? 21st
annual?
Yeah. No, 21st year. I could have just said year. Yeah, our anniversary. What an idiot. Yeah, that was super fun, and not sure how many of you got to go, but if you did, I'm sure you had a great time as well. I heard Friday was a lot of fun, and Brandon and I got to go on Saturday. That was yesterday for us, and we got there we got to go in an hour early, and boy, we just we hit the ground running as usual, man.
Basically going against our own advice,
which is you don't have to go and try everything. Now, with that being said, we did hit a point where it's like we need to cut ourselves off. We're done.
Yeah, but it's also I didn't say we went. I won't say we went and tried everything because there was things
we did not.
We went and tried things that we were interested in and that we wanted to try. And I feel like for the way the setup is, if you want like barrel aged stouts, like some good ones, like that when you get in the entrance and go around the outer rim of the auditorium, like that's the best way to do it. Like you're gonna get those, and then you get sucked down onto the floor,
right? Which
is fine. But like then once, like for us, when general public comes in, like there's a crowd in that atrium, like at the top, and then the floor is crowded as well. But you still have some time down there to kind of like navigate and find some things, like while the general public is still kind of filtering in. Because I'm not saying that everyone does this, but the The average beer nerd goes in and goes hard, and they will just run the lines of like trying everything as soon as they get in.
We were there with the same time as the VIP people, which there's not a ton of people there for the VIP. It's actually very nice. If I would highly recommend if you go to FOBAB, pay the extra money, get that extra hour in, especially if there are a bunch of beers that if you go Saturday, did they show what beers were available on Friday?
I think the list was supposed to be the same.
No, I know, but I'm saying, was it actually listed? Because I don't remember when the beer list was actually listed. I thought we were looking for it on Thursday and didn't see it.
No, but I know I saw it I think Saturday morning is when I saw it, but I think the post that I saw somebody posted from was from like Saturday night. So I don't know if
or Friday night, you mean?
Oh yeah, sorry, Friday night.
Yeah. So maybe they announce it day of, but if there are certain beers that you want to go and try, definitely do the VIP. It's worth it. Go in there. Plus, you're giving money to the Illinois Craft Beer Guild.
And I will say, and Ray, you can, or Matthew, who's on the board of the guild, can call me out. But I do believe that if you are an Imbibe member and you buy a FOBAB ticket, you automatically get that VIP entry. So
I think you're correct. It's nice because even with that, like you mentioned, there are the certain beer nerds who are going to go and run the gamut right away. There were small lines for certain beers, and when I say small lines, I mean it literally was. It was like 10 to 15 people, and those pours are quick. And by the time you get the one, you can get back in line and grab another right behind it if you really want to have it. But it was interesting to see there were a couple beers like that. So we kind of dipped in, and the first beer I went and tried, this is why I kept the list, Brandon, was from our friends over at Dry Hop. Let's Throw Chairs, which was an imperial stout that was, I believe, aged in bourbon barrels and then Malort barrels. Ooh, Brandon, what are you drinking before we get going there? Is that Totally Naked from New Glarus?
it is.
Is that when you got it like this year?
Yeah.
I'm jealous. I'm drinking Revolution's Antihero. We switched from barrel aged beers because we need a fucking break from barrel aged beers.
Also Sunday night.
That too. But yeah, that was a good beer. I was really excited. Joe, who does all the marketing for Dry Hop, Corridor, and Crushed by Giants, he's been on the show. You guys know Joe, good guy. He told me about this beer, and so I wanted to try it because I don't like Malort, but I did like their Malort aged pale ale. And then this was also very good because it was a nice barrel aged stout, and then right in the back, right at the end, there's that hint of Malort, and it wasn't off-putting for me. It was actually very nice because it was like, here's sweet bourbon, and then here's that little bit of bitterness that you got from Malort.
I'm really mad that I never went back to try that. It was on my list. And
I thought you tried it. Bummer.
No.
That should have been the one you grabbed on the way out when we were trying to grab a couple before we left.
No, I know. And I was looking on the wrong side of the aisle.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We didn't end up going all the way back to that exit. We went out the main entrance.
Yep.
Dang it. After that, we did Maplewood's Cup of Select, which is now available if you got a chance to get it or went to the tap room, which I think they'll probably still have it on tap for a while. Cup of Select was real good. I forget what Cup of Select actually has going on with it, but their Cup of Series is always good. After that, we got a chance to sample Old Irving's new Krampus in the Rye. So good. Yeah, that was really good. And then we worked our way through some other ones. Another one that stood out that I also know that you liked, Brandon, was drinking the brewery's Black Tuesday 2023.
Black Tuesday
2023.
That was like 19% ABV, something like that.
Yeah, and that's why the nice, small. And you know what I liked about that guy who was pouring? He wasn't doing the big pours, man. He was doing responsible, like, sips of beer, which I'm sure some people were like, what the fuck, man? Guess what? Just get back in line and have some more. But also,
I feel like somebody warned him, like,
yeah.
dude. But I just kind of on the pouring topic, I will say that I feel like this year, in regards to like years past, it was pretty light on the pouring,
and I was okay with it.
Yeah, totally.
Unlike the Great American Beer Fest, I wanted bigger pours because they weren't all barrel aged beers. Like I wanted a chance to like take a sip or two of the beer and actually enjoy it, you know?
Yeah.
So there were a couple of beers where I was like, just got a little taste of it. And Great American Beer Fest is a bit more crowded with longer lines. So I didn't really want to just go back and be like, can I get another pour now?
Yeah.
Then we made our way out to the Goose Island train car, just right outside of the
Toot, toot.
Credit One Center. Is that what it's called? Credit One
Credit One Arena.
Arena. And the first beers they had pouring, I don't remember the other one, but the other one I was most excited about was that they had 2019's Double Barrel, which was a cool move on Goose to do that for the people coming in early because each hour they swapped out two different beers that they were pouring out in the train car. So, Kentucky Fog was the other one that they were doing, which Brandon, you should have tried. But Double Barrel was fantastic. I didn't really have any bad beers. I take that back. There were like 3 beers I really didn't like. I'm not gonna call out the breweries because it's not necessary.
Yeah, I think my first beer, I think I dumped,
You did.
and it's a beer that I go to try every time I'm at FOBAB. And again, I'm not going to call the brewery out because I think I mentioned it to Ray. So I think it was Ray that I was talking to. No,
Yeah, we saw Ray right away.
I was talking to somebody and I was like, "Oh,
Maybe
like, what
Joe?
you like?" And "Oh, yes, it was probably Joe." And I told him, I was like, "Yeah, I dumped it." And he's like, "Yeah." He goes, "They should not even have submitted that. Like, what's the problem?" And I said, "To be fair, it may have been the bottom of the barrel. Like,
Yes, now I know which one you're talking about.
is
And
that very much what it was reminiscent of? It was like the dregs, and there was no barrel. It was bitter, tasted oxidized. Like, I'm like, that could have been the barrel from yesterday." And then
yeah, it was not a good pour. It was not a good pour. We should have went back and actually tried that again because I'm sure it was pouring better and it was a better, yeah, it did not look good. One of the ones that I was really excited, that I was saying that I was not excited about. Let me rephrase that. I was not excited about trying this one because in years past, I've not liked this from Goose Island. I don't like their berry bourbon counties. I think they're all just over the top. Clark has let some of them age for years, and guess what? It's still just a big berry mess that just doesn't taste great.
would you say it's very messy?
I will now. But we got a chance to try Bourbon County Brand Stout Backyard 2023, which is their. What are the? Do you remember? Do you know what the berry mix is on that?
That's a negative, Goose.
Oh boy, I'm trying to see if I can pull it up real quick. Here we go. The first thing it brings me is to Food and Wine. Thanks, Food and Wine magazine for. I could have just went to Goose Island's website.
Yeah, I got it.
Why would I do that? Oh damn it! I'm about to pull it up too. I'm so close. It's right here. It's a reboot of 2013's Backyard Ride, which I will be honest. Backyard Ride, I actually did like. Mike and I took that. My brother-in-law and I took that camping one year, and it was really, really good. It says a reboot of 2013's Backyard Rye, which was aged in rye barrels and made with mulberry. This bourbon barrel aged stout has notes of chocolate, vanilla, and berry fruit. Which berry fruit? After a year of aging, the beer was finished on mulberries, boysenberries, and marionberries.
Boysenberries.
I will say this.
Say it.
I was fucking shocked how much I really liked it. I thought this was going to be the variant I wasn't going to buy. I'm not saying I'll still buy it, but I'm not going to not buy it now because just based on my experiences in some of the past.
You'll buy it and you'll like it.
I don't like how you're threatening me with this. It was really good. It was really good, and I enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it as well? I think you enjoyed it as well.
I did. Yeah, it was super tasty, and I don't dislike previous backyards, but I thought it was really well done, and I think I like this one better than I have like previous ones. So that was pleasant.
My comparison was to Revolution's when they do Death by Charity. I think it's pronounced. I know it's pronounced Deeth, but I can't say that, man. I can't say Deeth. It doesn't sound right. Deeth by cherries, death by cherries, death by currants, death by plums, death by whatever. When they do the fruited stouts at Rev, that's my favorite way of having a fruited stout. I feel like it's always subtle and very tasty. What I did pass. Sorry, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's hard to call something Deeth, especially when that brewery has a beer called Deeth Star.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
which is fine. Deeth Stars makes sense. When you say Deeth by cherries,
but somebody like any normal person who's like a Star Wars fan or something will be like, "Oh, Death Star, yeah, that's awesome." Like that's where your mind goes. That's where my mind went. So
that's where it's always at. I mean, Cafe Deeth, that's still fine. But it's Death just sounds better. I did skip over when we were down on the floor. A lot of that was either outside or upstairs on the main concourse. Went down on the floor. Prairie Artisan Ales. They had 2 signs up for beers that they weren't pouring. Now, whether they were out of it or this was just during the VIP session, I don't know. But Brandon, you went and tried because you wanted to try something that they had. If I'm not mistaken, one of the one was it the Birthday Bomb? Was that the one?
So I went to no, there was Birthday, and then there was it was Birthday and something else, and then I wanted to try Birthday, but they didn't have it.
Oh, okay.
So they had their French Toast Bomb,
which is the one that we both tried, and I was blown away by that. That was. I forgot to mention that to Clark. Clark had asked me what my favorite ones were, and I didn't mention that. But what I loved about that one was that it wasn't super sweet. The cinnamon wasn't overpowering, but it really tasted like cinnamon
toast crunch.
Toast crunch. Yeah, it was awesome, and I want to have that again and again and again and again. I would say that the next one that I had that was one of my favorites of the day was Hop Butcher's Lincoln Anniversary Barrel Aged Stout. I just thought that was a very well done, kind of a sweeter barrel-aged stout. And I'll say this for Hop Butcher, I'm not a fan of their stouts. There's something about their stouts I don't really enjoy. Ooh. This one hit it in all the right places for me. Brandon's really sophisticatedly drinking. That totally.
Wait, so which Hop Butcher was that?
Lincoln Anniversary.
Oh, dude, that was good. That was really good.
And that was one of my favorites of the day. AleSmith's Barrel Aged Speedway Mexican Hot Chocolate. You and I both had that. That was very, very tasty. Yep. This was around the time. Oh no, that's not true. Right after that, after this beer is when I said what I'm about to say. After that beer, we found Maplewood's Barrel Aged Cup of Stuff. That, hands down, to me, was my favorite beer of the festival. Oh, now, granted, there's other categories, but I mainly drank stouts. That's what I like barrel aged stouts. I didn't.
And there's a metric shit ton of beers at that event.
Absolutely. There's also like wild sours.
Probably touched not even a third of them. Like,
I was gonna say the same thing. Like I think
I'm impressed by people that literally can go to those events and stay the full time and plow through it. And then like people say like, oh, when you were younger, you could probably do that. I'm like what? When I was 22? Because when I was 22, I didn't like barrel aged beers.
Yeah.
I would not do that. And maybe my mind would have been blown and I would have been like, let's get ripped and just drink a bunch of beers. But like, no, I feel like the flavor would have been off putting to me then. So
I was pretty good at keeping track of what I had, and it looks like I had 17 samples total.
That's probably incorrect, but
for 3.5 hours, it's actually probably pretty true. I was pretty good at keeping my
incorrect.
Okay,
and then I'm saying incorrect. Like you may be off. I'm not saying that you didn't have 7. You definitely had 17, but like there may have been like 1 or 2 that we had.
I was probably closer to a little over 20, probably.
Because I feel like in the very early beginning when you were doing it pretty well. And then even in the beginning, like I think we both grabbed a couple of things, and then you didn't mark it down, and I was just like, "Oh, all right, we're not doing this anymore."
Actually, you're right. There were a couple that I tried, and I'm like, I don't need to write this down.
That being said, one of the ones that we had in the beginning was More Brewing's Mendy.
Oh, I forgot to mention that. Yes, Mendy and Mendy Special Reserve.
And the Mendy, not the Special Reserve, but original Mendy 2023 won runner-up in Best of Show
Yes.
for the event.
You also had another winning beer. You had Sketchbook's, a Belgian triple.
Yeah.
And they got bronze for that? No. We got bronze. Yeah. They got bronze.
Yeah, I've got the list right here, but yeah, I think it was bronze.
Yeah, which congratulations to Sketchbook. More Brewing, one for Mendy. We got to try Mendy and Mendy Special Reserve. And actually, I did like Mendy more than the Mendy Special Reserve.
I'm mad that I didn't see it and grab it because I think they did a version of it last year, but the Off Colors Mezcal.
Yes, I saw it. Yeah, we tried it last year. It was very good.
Yeah, I loved it last year, and it won the gold this year.
Yeah, good for them, man. That's Beer for Tacos, as you guys know. If you've been listening to us for years, you know how much I love Beer for Tacos. It's such a great beer.
And what kind of trips me out is...
What's tripping you out, Brandon? Tell us. The fans want to know.
So Haymarket, I don't know Haymarket for like fruited beers, but they won gold for a fruited beer.
What beer was it?
Icky Bob Thornton, and I think it's a pumpkin beer.
What a great name.
Yeah.
Wow. I wish we would have tried it.
But then I take away, like, when I say fruited beers, I usually don't include pumpkin beers in that category. So
true,
maybe that is up their alley.
True.
Maybe we just got to go to Haymarket and see if they got it on tap.
Sounds good.
Or Pete, send us some Icky Bob.
Hey, you know what else? While we were there, we ran into Shalonda.
Again?
Twice in 1 week. How fun was that? It was a lot of fun hanging out with her. You know what? There is a beer I didn't put down. It was, I don't know the brewery, Bananaversary. Wait, was that from, who's coming here to Chicago from New York? I think that was another half beer, Bananaversary. I could be wrong about that. If I'm wrong, I apologize. But Bananaversary was good, whoever that was, because it was a really nice stout that had a hint of banana. It wasn't like banana wasn't the main focus. It was a good stout, and then it was like, the aftertaste of banana. I really liked it.
Yeah, I had it too, and I enjoyed it. And then, did you see Dan sent a message today about other half?
Yes.
Like, we know
Super
Dan.
cool. We know Dan. Thank you. You'd know that too if you were on the show more. Sorry, Dan. We love you. The other thing we got to do was go up to the Lager Lounge with Joe. We met up with Joe from Corridor, as mentioned, Joe Steigerwald. We hung out with him for a bit, which is a lot of fun, and we went to Lager Lounge where I had Art History. Their lager, which I really liked. I really liked it. It was really good. That was my Tim Robinson.
Did you really like it?
I did. So good. That was awesome. And then we also went up to the NA area, sponsored by Revolution, with their sparkling hop water. And we ran into our old friend, Rachel Morrison, who has been out of the country for
She's not that old.
No, she's not that old. Just old friend to us. Old as in like 2 years now, I think. It was good seeing her and catching up with her. And, I told her, sorry we didn't do the pumpkin beer with you, but, when you're out of the country, we can't invite you to things.
I'm in Europe.
I don't think that's what she said, but kind of. But yeah, overall, FOBAB was awesome as usual. We also, right before the awards, Brandon and I separated for a little bit. I went and had Bourbon County Biscotti, also not on my list. I definitely had like 25 samples. I went up back to the train car, and had Bourbon County Biscotti from last year, which was really good. Grabbed another hop water. Watching Brandon drink out of this bottle is hilarious. I don't know why. He looks so tired too. It's just been such a long weekend. It's been a long week into the weekend. I came back down and we went down to what was the name of the barbecue place?
Firewater.
Yeah. Oh my God. We got to go down to the Brewers Lounge because we're cool. We got media passes, and I loaded my plate up with pulled pork, brisket, some sausage, got some beans, grabbed their sauce, and ate that pretty much with my hands. I was like, fuck a fork. I'm using my hands. We're sitting here in the stands.
That literally hit the spot. And it's funny because like a lot of times when I eat something, it's like, oh, this is the reset that I need to keep going. It was like, this was the reset that I need to tell me that like you're getting pretty good. Like you don't need to do much more.
Yeah, exactly. It was the reset that hit me that was like, you know what, dude? You can probably have like one or two more, and then you should probably head home. Dude, I came home and I sat around for a little bit. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take a nap. I'm gonna go grocery shopping. I took a 2-hour nap, got up, and that's exactly what I did. Washed my face. I felt good. Drank some carbonated grapefruit seltzer from Jewel. Thank you, Jewel. Plugging Jewel Osco for their signature select grapefruit carbonated water. 12 packs are about $4, way cheaper than bubbly, and taste exactly the same. Yeah, then did some got some grocery shopping in, so it was nice. It was good.
I did not do that. We came home. I forget what it was. Sat on the couch for about all of 5 minutes before little man wanted to go do a Spidey car. So we went and did Spidey car, and Mom went and returned, sent something off to UPS, and then we put Spidey car back, and I dragged Benjamin out front, and we took all the Halloween decorations down.
Nice.
Well, 99% of them. We still got the pumpkins up there that are like decaying, so you know.
That's fine. The squirrels eat them. Well, the good thing is that we both were smart about the day. It was a good time. We both had a good time. We did sneak in a couple like quick tasters on the way out, which I figured we were going to do. But yeah, thanks to Ray and everybody at the Illinois Craft Beer Guild for inviting us.
I ran into Ray and I had a conversation with her. That was nice.
Oh, Raya?
Ray from her name is Ray.
Oh,
from Rabid.
Sorry.
So it's like, yeah, I ran into Ray from Rabid Brewing, who is an organizer as well. Tobias was not there; he was running shop down there. But
Toby?
I ran into her in the Brewers Lounge. We chatted for a couple of minutes, and then she's like, "I gotta go work."
I know somebody else by the name of Rhea. I just put that together.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. She's been on the show Saturday. I was talking about thanks to Ray Stout as well.
No, I know.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, thanks to everybody for running another great event. It's so much fun. I hope you guys made a lot of money, and for the Illinois Craft Beer Guild, it was awesome, and we look forward to it every year. I'm looking forward to doing it again. I'm looking forward to having Ray back on when he doesn't have to promote something like that and just drink some beers with us.
Yeah, totally.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Agreed.
If he wants to.
Yeah.
He might not want to.
Also true.
Might not want to. He might just be like, you know what? You guys aren't all that cool.
Probably
I don't actually like you guys. I doubt that's the case, but you know, as Brandon finishes his beer from New Glarus, I think it's time for us to say so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen.
Goodbye.
That would have been a great way to end it, but I'm not going to end it that way. Thanks everybody for listening. Like, subscribe, share with friends. Go back and listen to old episodes. That helps us.
Helps the algorithms.
Yeah. And like our stuff, we are on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on X, formerly Twitter.
We're on YouTube.
Oh yeah, that's right, we're on YouTube. I forget about that sometimes. But yeah, it was a good barrel aged week, man. I had a lot of fun with you. This was awesome.
Yeah, good times.
I'm looking forward to going to bed as soon as we're done here. Oh, wait, I can't. I still got to edit this. I don't have to edit shit. I just got to put a couple things together and boom, it's done. I got to figure out what picture I'm going to use for this. I think it's just going to be your face. That's the one. I should have screenshot that. But yeah, thanks everybody. Thanks for listening. And next week, listen to it. It's going to be awesome. We finally get to talk with Temperance and their 10-year anniversary and their 10-year beer, which I'm super excited for. Spoiler alert. It's their flagship beer, but it's different
and better.
I hope so. I hope we get to try it tomorrow. That'd be
or beefier. I don't know.
No, actually, I don't think it's ready. I don't know if we're gonna try that tomorrow. You think they'll let us have some Might Meets Right tomorrow?
You never know. You never know.
Are we gonna drink more? Are we gonna drink more barrel aged beer tomorrow?
I can't go tomorrow. Gotta go.
All right, Brandon, love you, buddy.
Love you too, man.
See everybody next week. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
This has been The Malting Hour. Be sure to follow us on all social media by searching The Malting Hour and at themaltinghour.com.
You can also follow us individually on social media. Brandon can be found on Instagram as BMDub81, on Twitter, BDub81, and on Untapped as BDubDrinksBeer. Tony can be found on Instagram and Untapped under Ace of Help Chicago, on Twitter, The Ace of Help Chicago. Clark can be found as Clarkowski on all three. Dan can be found on Instagram as hip__hops and hip hops on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe, like, and rate the show on your preferred podcast listening platform. Until next time, cheers from all of us at the Malting Hour.